This is the DJI Mavic 4 Pro, and in this video, I want to show you the difference between this drone and the Air 3S and the Mini 5 Pro to really have an understanding of what each one of these drones are capable of and why you would choose one drone over the other. So if you're ready, let's get into it. So I'm going to be approaching this video through the lens of somebody who wants to use these drones for making videos, whether that's shooting documentaries, making videos here on YouTube, or just someone who is using these as a storytelling tool. Because the way that I use drones is that they are one of the cameras that I always bring with me whenever I'm out on adventure, working on a documentary, or I just need a different perspective. I like to use drones in a lot of the content that I create. But the question is, which drone should you get? So the Mini series of drones are super small, tiny, compact. The Air series kind of sits in the middle. And then you have the Mavic 4 Pro, which is going to be the best quality. You have a lot of different features built into this drone that's not in these other ones, but it's also the biggest. And so it might be confusing to figure out which drone to buy because this is just a small sample of all the different drones that are out there. However, I think these are the three drones that any creator or filmmaker should really go to first if they're looking to pick up a drone for shooting videos and having the best features at their fingertips. So the big thing right off the bat is the main camera. So all three of these drones are going to have a main camera, and that's going to be the biggest sensor. With the Mavic 4 Pro, you have the Hasselblad 4/3 inch sensor. Now this main lens is a 28mm and it can shoot 6K up to 60 frames per second. On the Air 3S and also the Mini 5 Pro, you have a 1-inch sensor for that main camera. And both of those are a 24mm that shoot 4K up to 60 frames per second. So just on this camera alone, the Mavic 4 Pro has the higher resolution camera. Also with the Mavic 4 Pro, the main camera has an aperture built in that goes up to f11. Now in terms of slow motion, all of these cameras can shoot 4K up to 120 frames per second. Personally, I don't use 120 frames per second that often. However, the 60 frames per second is super useful because having a little bit of slow motion sometimes makes shots even more smooth, or it just creates more of that cinematic quality. When you take a 60 frame per second shot and slow it down to a 30 frame per second timeline, it just helps create a more cinematic shot. So with all of these cameras, I've been using 4K or 6K at 60 frames per second whenever I'm out flying. Now, something we need to talk about is the size of each one of these drones. So I have them all laid out here with their batteries. And essentially, when I'm out filming, I typically take these drones with me in a backpack. I'm always going to have the controller, so this is always going to be a constant. But then the size of each one of these drones and the batteries I bring with them are important to consider. So let's pull a backpack over here and let's just see how much room they actually take. So this is the bag I typically use. This is my Shimoda backpack. It's a 40 liter. And let's put this up a little bit so you could see down into my backpack. Let's take a look. So I usually fill this section with my camera gear. I'll bring, my bigger camera. So right now I have my ZVE1, but usually I'll bring with me my A9 III, and I'll probably have something like this 20-70 that I put on. Put this in here. And then I might bring, one or two other lenses. So let's throw this 50 in here and let's just do 16-25. So I have 3 lenses in here, and now I fill the rest with the other gear. So I'll bring like my controller. I want this accessible. Stick this in. And then I need to be able to fit a drone in here. Now with the Mini 5 Pro, with any of these drones I want to put on the cover, Mini 5 Pro could actually fit nicely right next to the controller. So you can see I have both of these here, and I'll typically take the 3 batteries, the 2 extra, and just slide them in as well. And I still have some extra room. This is like the best setup for travel and adventure stuff, but you're limited with this drone. Like this would be good if I'm like throwing this in a backpack and like going on a plane. But if I'm just hiking, then let's rearrange this. So let's put this controller more in the middle. And let's put the Air 3S in. and I could throw it here on the side. And I still have a little bit of room. So I could put this 360 camera kind of right in here. And yeah, this could work pretty well. The batteries are bigger in the case. I could slide them kind of up top here, or I could just slip them in the top of the backpack as well. Now, the big difference is that when you look at the Air 3S versus the Mavic 4 Pro, there actually is a size difference. Like the Air 3S is pretty small compared, but they are still, within the same kind of range. Let's put the cover on this one. And when we slide it in, it's a bigger than the Air 3S, and you could see this in here, but it still fits in a similar spot. There is a little bit less room at the top, so I wouldn't be able to put the DJI Osmo 360 in here, but I could probably lay that on top. So going up from the Air 3S to the Mavic 4 Pro definitely does shrink the bag space, but it really doesn't change that much. I didn't really have to rearrange this to the point where I'm really taking that much gear out to accommodate this bigger drone. So it's definitely still something that I would consider taking in my backpack to do something like hiking. But the real question is weight. Let me go grab a scale and let's weigh these and see what the difference is between each one of these. All right, so let's weigh each of these with the battery, basically everything I would carry. So Mini 5 Pro is about 1 pound, 8 ounces with just basically all the stuff I would take. So pretty lightweight. Air 3S with the 3 batteries, we're looking at 3 pounds, 2 ounces. So definitely, more weight. And let's grab the Mavic 4 Pro and the 3 batteries. 4 pounds, 4 ounces. So essentially, to take this drone hiking alongside, instead of the Air 3S, I'm only adding an additional pound of weight. It's not that much extra to really bring the Mavic 4 Pro over the Air 3S. You sacrifice a little bit of your bag space and you're adding a pound of weight. But for that, you're getting all of these additional features and you get the better camera. So in terms of just like weight and size, I don't think the Air 3S necessarily wins unless you're really strapped on space and you're trying to use that 70 millimeter. Like you need to have that lens, but you need to cut your weight and you need to have just a little bit extra space in your bag. I don't think the Mavic 4 Pro, it's big, but it's definitely not so big that I would consider just leaving this at home over the Air 3S. And in terms of controller, I've been using the DJI RC Pro 2 for all 3 of these drones. The cool thing is the new Pro controller works with all of these drones now. And if you want a smaller controller, you can use the DJI RC controller, and it is a little bit smaller. But the bigger screen with the Pro controller does make a huge difference when you're out flying, and it is super bright. So in terms of controller, that's not going to be a big differentiating factor. It all comes down to what features are most important for you. And you might think, okay, we've talked about this main camera. The big Hasselblad sensor on this 4/3 is going to give you better image quality. It'll be better photos. It's a higher resolution camera overall. And when you have a bigger sensor, it's going to respond better in low light. However, both of these drones also get you a good image as well. I've been super happy with my Air 3S, and this has been my go-to drone since it was released. However, there are some major advantages with the Mavic 4 Pro that's making me now push more into the Mavic 4 Pro, and I'm going to be grabbing this drone when I'm out flying. And a big part of that is you get D-Log on all 3 cameras. So on the Mavic 4 Pro, you have 3 cameras. You have your wide, your medium, and your telephoto. On the Air 3S, you have a wide and a medium. And then on the Mini, you just have your wide. But there is a digital crop that gives you kind of a medium style lens. And I'll show you how that works in a second. And we'll do some comparisons side by side. Now, just one thing I wanted to add to the section about the different cameras. The DJI Mini 5 Pro is the same 1-inch sensor as the DJI Air 3S. So it's pretty cool that you get the same camera on both of these drones now, but with the Air 3S, you get the added benefit of having the second camera as well. One of the major differences is that on the Mavic 4 Pro, you get D-Log on all 3 cameras. And D-Log is going to make your image flatter, it's going to pull out more saturation, and it allows you to combine the footage easier with other cameras. On the Air 3S and the Mini 5 Pro, you get D-Log M. And D-Log-M is great because it is a flatter profile that's good for color grading. However, it's not as flat as D-Log. Now, you could still shoot D-Log-M with the Mavic 4 Pro, but you get that even flatter D-Log, which makes it more of a professional tool, especially when you're mixing it with other cameras, and it just gives you more flexibility when you are color grading. Now, I talked about different lenses on these cameras. So you only get the one camera on the Mini 5 Pro. The Air 3S has two cameras, 24mm and a 70mm. And then the Mavic 4 Pro has the 24mm, 70mm, and 168mm, which is wild to have on one of these drones of this size. Now with the Mavic 3 Pro, it did have the same type of lens, the same three lenses on it. However, on the Mavic 3 Pro, that longer telephoto lens just wasn't as good as the one that's on this camera. I feel like working with the Mavic 4 Pro, this long telephoto lens, this 168mm, is now super usable. And when you mix that with D-Log, it just makes it so that all three cameras give you a much better quality when you're out shooting your videos. And like the big thing for me when I'm out filming is I use the 70mm all the time. When I'm with the Air 3S, that's like my go-to lens. Obviously the wide lens is great. When you have a drone up in the sky, having a wide lens is kind of essential. You need to get those wide shots, but that 70mm is just such a good tool for crafting stories because it drives focus. You can create a ton of parallax in your shots, and it just creates really dynamic looking footage that when you put it next to other drone footage, it really stands out. Now you take that a step further on the Mavic 4 Pro, you now have a 168mm that's very usable. So you could create shots like this where it's super dynamic, lots of spinning motion with the parallax in the background versus the foreground. And it just creates this really cool imagery that's really only achieved by higher end drones or even helicopters that's filming with a long lens. And when you're shooting on these longer lenses, whether you're on the Air 3S or the Mavic 4 Pro, you could shoot 4K up to 60 frames per second. And when you're shooting 70mm, you can go slow motion up to 4K 120 frames per second. On the 168mm, you can shoot 4K up to 100 frames per second. Now, what about the Mini 5 Pro when we're talking about this extra lenses? Well, there is a digital crop on the Mini 5 Pro, and I've been testing this a lot recently. So let's look at some samples side by side. This is the same shot on all three cameras, and I'm shooting this house, and this is on the wide lens. Now, working with the Mavic 4 Pro, that wide lens is a little bit more cropped in. 28mm versus 24mm is a little bit of a difference. So if you are going to be shooting in tighter spaces, that 24 actually does have an advantage over the Mavic 4 Pro. So the Mini and the Air have an advantage with that wider lens. Now, when we jump into the 70mm on the Mavic 4 and the Air 3S, you can see how much parallax you can get on the house. And you can see as I'm spinning around grabbing the shot. Now with the Mini 5 Pro, you can do a 2x crop in camera. So it's not an additional lens as much as it's punching in, but it does create some of that parallax, and it's giving you basically a 48mm lens. So it's not as tight as a 70mm, but you do get a sense of that longer lens feel. Now, because this is a digital crop, it's not as clean as working with just the lens on the Air 3S or the Mavic 4 Pro. However, comparing this to the Mini 4 Pro, with the digital crop in the Mini 5 Pro, you have a bigger sensor, so when you're cropping in, it's actually looking better than the previous models. So I would say that the Mini 5 Pro is definitely usable when you're trying to craft a story and you need that longer lens look. And it's going to be useful in those situations where you just can't bring a bigger drone, and like it makes sense to carry a Mini 5 Pro or a small drone with you. However, if I'm shooting long lens footage, I'm going to want to go with the Air 3S or the Mavic 4 Pro. Now, when we jump into the 168mm, this is where you have the major difference. You have this additional lens, which gives you just a lot more flexibility, and it creates a completely different look when you're out flying. And now with all three drones, you have focus track that allows you to draw a box around your subject and track in any situation. And all of them do super well because with all four of these drones, you have LiDAR built in, which is going to make tracking and moving around objects much better. And what's pretty cool is that on any of these drones, you could draw your box around your subject, like I'm hiking here. You could track with different motions where you set the drone to go to the left, to the front, to the back. All three of them have 360 obstacle avoidance, so you never have to worry about bumping into something. But what's really cool is you can click this auto feature, and it's just going to start creating shots for you. It's going to move around you in different paths around whatever you're filming and just create some dynamic shots where you don't even have to think about it. So as I was hiking up this trail, I was using the Mini 5 Pro on auto, and it was just grabbing some different shots as I was flying around. Now, hiking up this mountain, this is where I noticed a big difference between the Mini 5 Pro and the Mavic 4 Pro. And that is when you get into more extreme conditions. And that's high winds, you have some weather out there. The Mavic 4 Pro definitely handles itself so much better, which makes sense. It's a bigger, heavier drone, and it just has more power in the sky. It's also a super fast drone. This drone can go up to 60 miles per hour, whereas the Mini 5 Pro at top speed is like 42 miles per hour. So it is significantly slower. The Air 3S is somewhere near the Mavic 4 Pro. Both of these drones actually fly very well in the sky and move really fast, but I definitely noticed there was a lot of power with the Mavic 4 Pro. Like, you can get that drone up where you need it to go, and it just feels like it could really handle any type of weather. I was up on the top of this mountain. The winds were just howling, like blowing my hat off as we were hiking up. Mini 5 Pro, it actually did pretty well. And you could see from this footage, like, it was capturing some great shots on this mountain, but it also is bouncing around a lot. And you could see in some of this footage, it was bouncing. Whereas on the Mavic 4 Pro, I had a lot less bounce as it was moving around. And I felt like I could just keep much better stable shots. Especially, I bumped over to the 168 millimeter doing an orbit around my buddy, and the footage is clean. Like, you don't see any motion being bumped around, even though we're at the top of this mountain where the winds are just kind of whipping and hitting the drone and pushing it all over the place. And also with the Air 3S, it is also a stable drone, but I definitely feel that the Mavic 4 Pro is just a little bit stronger when it comes to being able to handle the elements. Now, one big difference is the gimbal in the front. So on the Mavic 4 Pro, Mini 5 Pro, you have a rotating gimbal. So if you are going vertical and horizontal footage, you basically get the full sensor, whether you're shooting horizontal or vertical. It fully rotates, and you can do these cool, like, rotating shots in your footage if that's something that you want to use. Air 3S is the one that has a little bit difference here. It doesn't have a gimbal that rotates. So when you go to vertical, it just crops in on your footage. So it goes to a 2.7K crop right in the center. So if you are someone who's shooting vertical content, then the Mini 5 and the Mavic 4 Pro are going to give you better resolution and more use of your sensor when you are shooting vertical. And one of the big differences between the three is going to be price. Obviously, the smaller one's going to be the cheapest. The Mavic 4 Pro, biggest, it's the best camera, all of that. It's going to be the most expensive. And it is something to consider when you are purchasing the drone. There is a big price difference between all these. And when you bump this up to the creator combo, you're getting the better controllers and all of that. It's going to make them more expensive. So hands down, I think all three of these drones are awesome. However, in most cases, I'm going to be grabbing the Mavic 4 Pro whenever I'm out flying, unless I really have a restraint on the kind of space that I have. Like, say I'm just going in a small backpack and I'm jumping on a plane, then I would take the Mini 5 Pro. But the Air 3S, it's still a drone that I really like. It's a drone that I'll keep around because it is a super powerful drone. And in so many more ways, the Mavic 4 Pro gives me more of that professional level tool that I need when I'm out crafting. And it's not that much bigger than the Air 3S to take out whenever I'm flying. So I'd love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. What do you think about the footage between these three drones? And if you have any questions about the Mavic 4 Pro, Air 3S, or Mini 5 Pro, please let me know. And if you are wondering, how do you buy any of these drones in the US right now? I made a video all about that. There's some different ways that you can actually buy them in the United States, even with all the custom issues going on. And so I'll leave that video here, and I'll see you on the next one.